welcome back everyone, welcome back to the grand finals, also grand finales here of the KSL, the Korean StarCraft League, week number 89. We're jumping into the grand finals here. We have our TvP best of 5, and spawning in the bottom hand corner of washouts, we have the South Korean Protoss player. We have the blue Protoss, one of the best Protoss players in the world. It is a classic. Top two alongside Hero, and spawning in the top right hand corner we have the South Korean Terran player. We have the red Terran, the previous world champion. It is ByuN. Let's go. If you're in the chat, you know what time it is. It is Gamba time. Predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck in the chat. Here we go. As we've been seeing quite a lot of ByuN's TvP as of late, and he has been able to hold his own against Hero in recent weeks. That is true. But at the same time, Hero and Classic are very different players. We bring this up all the time, but Classic, he's a little more defensive, he's a little more macro-oriented. He can be spicy, he can mix in aggression. That is true. But for the most part, like, he often does play for a lot of mid to late game play. That is where Classic really does find his, that's where he really does thrive. Whereas Hero can be a little more of a chaotic player in the early to mid game. Classic less so. So we'll see how ByuN can handle Classic. We'll see if he can break him early on, if he can take him even to the mid to late game as well. We'll see how ByuN will adjust his approach. For now, single gas opener, racks expand, economic start out of ByuN, opening up in a more standard fashion. Likewise, Classic also going for his own gate expand into Cybercore. So standard opener out of both players, economic starts, calming down. Calming things down. I'm also curious to see how they handle themselves on the new maps as well. Welcome to Washout. Washout has a bit of a longer rush distance by ground, is often more attributed here to more mid-game play. At least that's what we're hoping for, at least. We'll see. We have been seeing ByuN be hyper-aggressive as of late, depending on the map and depending on the opportunities that he does see. He is willing to just double down, to commit, to double down, and to be hyper-aggressive across the map whenever he can. So eyes are on ByuN. For now, Twilight Council open out to Classic, opening up into Blink. You can open up Charge, but often you see Charge on smaller maps. Charge can be a good way to hard counter your opponent being hyper aggressive. If you feel like your opponent has a high chance of going into a 2-base all-in, into a heavy tank push, then Charge base openers can hard counter. Otherwise, we should be seeing Blink, and then we'll be looking for the gateway count. 2-gate Blink, 3-gate Blink, or 4-gate Blink Stalker. Depending on the gateways, they will tell us how aggressive, economic, or how all-in Classic wants to be, or even how safe he wants to be. 2-gate Blink is very greedy, 3-gate Blink is in the middle of the road, is a lot more safer, 4-gate Blink is hyper-aggressive. So eyes are on the gateway count. Likewise, we're also going to be looking for the timing of the the timing of the robo. Timing of the robo will also tell us how safe we want to be as well. Back at home, early game Cyclone, just for early game map control. ByuN defending early on, trying to chase down and catch that first adept. Behind this, going for his own 1-1-1 into Widowmine drop. Again, the Widowmine drop is not really built for economic damage. That's something to bear in mind. Widowmine drops aren't supposed to get damage done. What they're supposed to do is get vision, get scouting information. It's about getting across the map, getting some scouting information, potentially killing some workers. That's a bit of a bonus on top of that. But more importantly, confirming the timing of the third base and confirming the amount of gateways that are available. Speaking of, 2-gate Blink. 2-gate Blink to the third. We just see a hyper greedy build here from Classic. Very greedy, very economic. If ByuN were to recognize what was going on, and if he were to go for a 2-base all-in, he could punish. He could punish this build 100%. If you remember, we have seen ByuN actually recently punish Hero doing this build during the, I think it was the Kung Fu Cup. It was either Kung Fu Cup or Monday Night Weekly, but ByuN did shut Hero down when Hero tried to cut these corners. Oh, it was GSL. My apologies. Yeah, it was the GSL group stage. It was their first series, if you recall. It was their first series in the GSL round of 8. Meanwhile, Widowmine drop is going to be denied. Blink is now done. And ByuN is going to be zoned away. So nice positioning here by Classic, especially considering that he had a lower gateway count and a lower stalker count. Does catch ByuN. And ByuN doesn't know. ByuN doesn't get across the map. ByuN doesn't see anything. ByuN has no idea the timing of the third base, the amount of gateways, or he knows that there are stalkers in his face. Oh, and there's an opening. I see a tank on the low ground. I don't see a tank in the main. We have high ground vision with the observer. ByuN going for the follow-up Banshee. Classic, he goes in, he goes for Stim. Stim, he's gonna get it. Yeah, Stim is gonna be focused down. Observer does pull back, and Stim is gonna be denied. Massive pickoff. Ay. And this means that even if ByuN realized what was going on as the mind drop now comes in, if even he wanted to go for a 2-base all-in, now he's heavily delayed. There's no Stim now. There's no Stim in production. We have to rebuild the tech lab and then restart Stim, so ByuN is stuck at home. Like, no shot we're pushing without Stim. So ByuN is stuck at home, and Classic gets away with the faster third. Faster third, faster saturation, greater economy. This leads into a stronger mid-game. Stronger mid-game. So chat, what music is this? Brutal OST. We only play the Brutal OST during the breaks. Maybe one day we'll mix in like the SC2 OST, but we typically do leave it to those two. I see you can't go wrong with the Brutal OST though. Can't go wrong with it. Do you contribute to the KSL? If you're in the chat, there's a command, !KSL. So there is a command in the chat. So if you wish, you can actually support the Korean StarCraft League, which right now it does need support. So you can help fund the tournament, help grow the tournament, and even allow for it to be a more regular event. Right now it is a monthly tournament, but it can be grown into a bi-weekly, every fortnight, or even a weekly tournament as well. As with a lot of tournaments nowadays, there are ways to support. Original soundtrack. Yeah. Here we go. What is OST? Yeah, original soundtrack. Yeah. Ask if you do. I'm not a patron of the KSL, if that's what you're referring to. One day, happy one day. Love to be. So Banshee does move in. But there is no cloak behind this. There's no cloak. Banshee does move in towards the bases. And so far, Classic he does own. Likewise, ByuN has built up his army. As a reminder, because of delayed Stim, he's stuck at home claiming his third base. Observer does confirm the positioning here of ByuN. Does confirm. And from here, Classic's just mass expanding. Again, because Classic's stronger early game, he has a stronger economy, faster third, faster saturation, faster fourth base, faster saturation into a faster fifth. This is getting out of hand. Right now, the soup is lying to you, right? The supply is quite close, and technically that means that ByuN can actually break out soon, but in a couple of moments, in a couple of seconds, in a couple of minutes, that's where Classic should be skyrocketing ahead due to all this economy kicking in. Here we go. Classic, he does threaten to push. At the same time, Prism into the main base. I would argue that Classic doesn't even have to be aggressive right now. Like, he can just enjoy, like, he's just taking more bases, just getting his 6th expansion as we speak. Recalls out of there, does get a couple of SCV kills, a bit of bonus damage, keeping ByuN busy, while Classic is soon to max. He's soon to max out. So now we're knocking down our rocks. Rocks are being knocked down. Our academy on the way. Again, ByuN is slowly working towards a 4th base. I should also elaborate on what I mentioned earlier, how Classic doesn't need to like go for the Prism harass at the moment. Right now, Classic just has to chill and wait for ByuN to expand. When ByuN attempts to get a 4th base, that is when ByuN will be spreading himself thin, and that is when Classic can find an opening. Even here, though, he does catch out the Marines. Yeah, so many Marines going to be going down. Classic looking for a way in, getting on top of the tanks, and he gets one. Yeah, one tank will go down. Vikings, they do snipe the prison, they deny the warp in. Very nice. Yeah, warp in is denied, and ByuN holds. Doesn't just hold though. Up, he gets one. He gets one, he gets two. He might even get all 4 Colossus. So far, 2 Colossus go down. Vikings still pushing in. Can he get one more? He can. Yeah, he can get one more Colossus. 1 Colossus survives. But Classic is cornered. Yeah, Classic is cornered, and look at that. Classic will lose every single Colossus. Heavy losses here for Classic. Ay, ay, ay. Now, you can argue that Classic can afford this. Classic is on 7 bases, by the way. He's but replacing Colossi, that takes time. That takes time. There's only 1 Robo. You can see here a 2nd Robo is on the way. How did that fight go so poorly for Classic? The Warp-In. If the Warp-In finished, honestly, Classic wins that fight. Classic, he wins that fight, he overwhelms. With that Warp-In being denied, Classic was overwhelmed. He was overwhelmed, he overcommitted. And with that, ByuN does fight well for himself, but now my big concern here is that he needs a 4th. He needs that 4th base up and running, and Classic, he's remaxing. He is going to be faster to rebuild and remax. You see Classic rotating. Has he spotted the 4th base? Not yet. He's not aware of the 4th location. Planetary's morphing in. And can ByuN hold on to the 4th base? Can he hold on to it? No. the answer is no. As again, ByuN, he's now rotating over. He has a couple of tanks here between his bases, his Widow Mines as well. They're mainly at the 3rd location. But in a head-on fight, ByuN, he will struggle here. Yeah, he cannot maintain that 4th. Ideally, ByuN wants to drag the army into range of the rest of his forces. Likewise, not much anti-air here for Classic, true. Not much anti-air. Mind Shot goes off. And ByuN is going to be zoned back as we're getting an 8th expansion now for Classic. Again, he's taken over the map. He's taken over the map. I also really appreciate that Classic is prioritizing the fringe bases as well, taking resources away from ByuN if ByuN were to ever expand. Oh no, the mineral line! Oof, yeah, workers that were caught out. ByuN did not pull away. That is 9 as if he's falling. Ay, ay, ay. Not like this, as ByuN, he does try to rotate over towards the center. Likewise, Classic rotating over as well. Classic, he will come across the CC. And he has built up his Stalker count. For now, going for the Vikings. Gets 1, gets 2. 2 Vikings go down, CC's not fight. That's a kill on the CC. And again, that is Classic's win condition. Deny the 4th base. Deny the 4th base over and over again. Make ByuN work for it as he starves out. At the moment, there's no need to take him into Skytoss, as there are no Liberators, right? Right now, ByuN, he's yet to really perfect his army. He's lacking Liberation Zones. He's lacking his Fusion Core. His army is still very vulnerable here to a very heavy Gateway composition. Classic blinks in. Yeah, he blinks in. Catching out Ghosts, catching out Marauders, very efficient trades. He's getting with all the tanks as well. No, he gets 1, he gets 2. Takes on both tanks, and Classic is done. He's breaking ByuN. ByuN, he stims forward, he gets 1 Colossus, he gets the other as well. I expected soon. There we go. Gets both Colossi. And it looks like ByuN, he will barely win this fight. But once again, we're in a position here where ByuN can't afford these trades. He can't afford it, Classic can. So once again, for the 2nd time, Classic overextends with this Colossus, but it doesn't matter. Like, it's the reality is it doesn't matter. You can take a bad fight. We have the luxury of taking a bad fight here due to the economy. Classic breaks through, catching up the Ghosts. Vikings forced to land. And with that, Classic has broken the back of ByuN, taking care of all the Ghosts, the Marauders. GG gets called, and Classic takes game number 1. Whew. GG. GG, well played. A very rough start here for ByuN. Winding it back here, if you recall, ByuN, it was brutal to see Stim denied. If you recall, we saw some extremes here from Classic, where Classic, he went for a 2-gate opener. He went 2-gate blink into a 3rd, so hyper greed out of Classic. We saw that ByuN, if you recall, he himself was building up into a Stim timing, but Stim was denied. So Classic got away with greed. ByuN was denied any kind of Stim timing, and ByuN was stuck at home, and Classic could freely get a faster 4th base and a faster 5th base. So he was just freely snowballing out of control, building up a greater economy. If ByuN wanted to all in, it would have been delayed, so I understand the rationale as to why he did not all in. despite the fact that him being in a rough position, tried to play it out, but alas, could not quite keep up and not with the economy of Classic, despite taking better fights. Like I will admit that, of course, ByuN did take better fights. He was out trading Classic by catching out and resetting the Colossus count every single time, but again, just to re-emphasize, Classic could afford those mistakes. ByuN couldn't afford the trades. And here we go, we're getting into game number 2, going to be loading into Lockdown. Let's go. Here we go. As we are loading into Lockdown. We are loading into Lockdown. Lockdown being another one of these other, I would say a more defensive map. We'll get into it as the bases are close together and in better positions. As spawning in the top right hand corner of Lockdown, we have our South Korean Protoss player. We have the blue Protoss leading the series 1-0. Representing Virtus Pro, it is Classic. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the red Terran player. My eyes are on this probe. Yeah, let's go. Go for the proxy. We have our red Terran. We have the South Korean Terran representing Shopify. It is ByuN. I zoomed in to look at the logos, but they're not there. Are they gone? Oh, there they are. There they are. As Classic is going for the proxy gateway to begin with here, so we do have a very aggressive opener here by Classic. Bearing in mind this is a more defensive map in the map pool, I think that's why Medic Jr., I think he's casting with Dave, I believe that is why he's reacting the way that he is. The reasoning for this is because there's a very high chance that ByuN opens up economically because of the high ground expansion. We do have a ramp coming into the high ground, which is quite rare, so this is a lot more defensive, so ByuN has incentive to be greedy, but that's why Classic is banking on that. He wants ByuN to be greedy and he wants to punish that greed. This ramp is ideal when it comes to early game aggression, but here when it comes to early proxies, like you can't really make full advantage of this ramp. So I do give the edge to Classic here when it comes to punishing ByuN, assuming that ByuN gets a CC on the low ground, and he will. So right now Classic again reading ByuN very, very well. And I'm concerned for ByuN. Winding it back when it comes to the previous game as well, I feel like that game really did showcase the strengths of Classic. Classic, he knows so much, so well, better than any other player, by the way, better than MaxX, better than Hero. He knows when to cut corners, when to be greedy, when to capitalize on that kind of setup. He is so fast to mass expand. He's so fast to max expand. He's so fast to saturate those fringe bases. He's so fast to just take a lead and just run with it, and to have a stronger mid to late game as a result of that. And you saw that last game where Classic was even taking worse fights, but due to that greater economy, due to that greed, due to taking advantage of ByuN, he could just sustain that regardless. Meanwhile, here we go. The goal here is to cancel, to delay and maybe even cancel the CC. Behind this, oh, Marine into add-on. No Reaper Scout. No Reaper Scout here by ByuN. Is going Marine into Reactor into Factory, so he has one Marine to defend. And can we deny the low ground CC, as the CC will not finish? Now moving up the ramp. Ooh, can we get on top of the Marine? Can we just break down the front door? Okay, he's not too concerned with canceling. Going for the depot. Boys are being pulled. Forcing micro out of ByuN. We do mass repair. Yeah, mass repair on the SCV. Depot taking a lot of hits. And the depot goes down. Wow, he breaks through. He breaks through the depot. Supply blocking ByuN. Thankfully, there's one Widowmine on the way. Got the one Widowmine, and it will burrow. Oh, there's... Oh, God. He forces the cancel. I mean, again, what can we do? There's no Tech Lab. There's no Cyclone. Supply block for ByuN. Zealot tanks the Widowmine. And it's all just snowballing out of control. It's snowballing out of control here. We focus on the Marines. There's 2 Marines left. 2 Marines. Down to 1. Down to 0. 0 Marines remaining. Now we can focus fire that. Oh my, nice round. Nice round here on the Stalker. Dust around, Widowmine will reset. The Stalker breaks out though. Yeah, the Stalker breaks out. The Widowmine will not reset. There's 2 Marines popping out just now. Down to 1 Marine. Gets a Stalker. Gets 1, but the game may just end. The game may just end here. We do get 1 Widowmine on top of the ramp, just barely. Up. Ooh, there's a Stalker. Classic gets in. And he wants to delay that CC. He wants the CC. He wants him. He just fights the Marine head on because he can. Yeah, wouldn't mind is going to be hunted down. GG gets called as ByuN is overwhelmed, and Classic takes a 2-0 lead in the series. GG. Whew. GG, well played again. A very nice read here from Classic, and a couple of things happen at once here. If you recall, we mentioned that ByuN had incentive to go for a greedy build here on Lockdown because of the map itself. So Classic, he was hoping that would be the case, but not just that. On top of that, if you remember, ByuN did go for a Marine first into Reactor, no SCV Scout, which is standard to be fair, but no Reaper Scout either, right? He skipped his Reaper, so because of that, ByuN had zero information, so he couldn't react. If he were to go for an earlier Scout, he could recognize what was going on, set up a bunker on the high ground, cancel the CC earlier, get the refund earlier, start the Tech Lab, start the Cyclone instead of Widowmine, and have a stronger defense to build up into a longer game. But remember, it was ByuN cutting corners, ByuN being greedy, and ByuN not having any scouting information against the hyper aggression of Classic. So these builds, it was almost like a build or win there. I say almost like a build or win because there's a world where maybe ByuN, maybe the Widowmine resets, right? Maybe the Widowmine resets, he gets an extra shot off, the Widowmine survives a little bit longer, and even if he kills like one extra Stalker early on, then ByuN could maybe hold on and force a longer game. It came down to the minute details of the unit control, of course, and Classic did break through. So to break on through, and here we go, we're going to be loading into game number 2. Loading into, sorry, game number 3. And I'm hoping for a back and forth. I want to see a longer series here, but the pressure is on because spawning in the right hand corner of Defender's Lab, we have the blue Protoss player. We have the South Korean Protoss representing Virtus Pro, leading the series 2-0. Seeing the two extremes, by the way. Game 1, Classic was hyper greedy and excelled in the late game. Game 2, Classic was hyper aggressive and excelled in the early game. And now it's time for mid game? Question mark? We'll see. We'll see, as it is going to be Classic for Virtus Pro. Hello, SCV. Hello, ByuN. Show us the proxy racks. As spawning in the bottom hand corner, going for the proxy racks across the map. It is the South Korean Terran. It is the red Terran representing Shopify. It is ByuN. It's his turn, Bobby. Let's go. Let's go. Welcome to Defender's Lab. Now, what I was going to say is we move out with the second SCV. It's going to be Proxy 2-Rax Reaper. What I was about to say here was that Defender's Lab does, I want to say, favor mid-game play, right? Setting up your natural, your third base, like a relatively defendable 3-base setup. Classic does Probe Scout, and Classic, he did not see the proxy, but Classic will see that the Rax is missing. So already, as opposed to the previous game, Classic will have some information to work off of here. So it goes in, he confirms only one gas geyser, confirming that the Rax is missing. You can see here he did check a little bit further behind in the main, and now we have to check the low ground natural base as well, as we have our 2-Rax Reaper massing up. Here's a massing early Zealot here from Classic, so Classic is taking this seriously. Taking this seriously, early Zealots. Usually you skip the Zealot and go straight for the Cyber Core into your expand. But here Classic is playing safe. The Zealot won't kill Reapers, but it'll just buy time. It'll buy time. It'll protect your mineral line, ideally. Oh, he locks in the SCV. No, Classic. He locks him in. There's one worker there that's not mining, and this entire patch is basically inaccessible. Pylon does finish. Now, the reason why this is really strong here is because usually, oh, as the first probe does fall, nice pickoff. But usually you deal with this pylon, with the Marine, with the Reaper, but because of the proxy, there's nothing to do with the pylon. This is going to be delayed economy for a long time. So this pylon is doing even more damage than what it usually would, which is why it does finish. Because there are no units at home to deal with it. Meanwhile, the initial Zealot does buy time, only one probe kill so far. You can see Classic looking for the proxy. He's searching. Pylon's still denying mining in the main. Probe is hunted down. And Classic, he will find. Okay, he will find the proxy. No! He barely doesn't. Yeah, now he spots the Reapers, he gets surrounded, he gets called out, we have reinforcements on the way, and it looks like ByuN will catch the first Stalker. Very nice. Yeah, one Stalker falls. One Stalker falls. Classic racing back home into his main. Ooh, this is going to be brutal here. Yeah, it's going to be brutal. Without that Stalker, probes are going to be going down, and he will lose one more. Second Stalker arrives, Classic holds. Whew. Okay, Classic, he does hold on. He's expanding behind this as well. ByuN back at home, there's that factory. Oh, who is it? Oh, is it me? No, no, Enki. Enki, por favor. Oh, okay. So Enki, for those that are curious, he is the Spanish caster in StarCraft. Hopefully everything's okay and hopefully everything stabilizes. Thankfully that latency happened when nothing was going on, right? The worst case scenario is for someone to start lagging while a fight is happening. Thankfully, like, ByuN backed off. Like, ByuN, he'd already retreated and there was nothing, there was no, like, intense micro. But cross your Ethernet cables, Enki. Cross them. Stay with us, Pappy. Stay with us. We got a lot of love for Enki. He's one of us. He's one of our own. He's a duckling. Enki's a duckling. Este Enki. He's el hermoso. If you ever tune into his channel, he's el hermoso. It's beautiful. Este Enki. There we go. ByuN, he's hiding behind the mineral line, by the way. Classic, he moves out. We might end up in an awkward position because we're supply. No, sure. Heavy supply block. Heavy supply block here. There's nothing on the way. Stalkers are coming, by the way. The Stalkers are coming. And can ByuN force a recall? Can he force a recall back home? Because right now, we are still supply block. Just now, the supply block is broken. Reapers, they move in. Classic does the recall. Does catch a sentry. Not bad. One sentry goes down. Batteries within range. Stalker does defend. Classic's moving in. Okay, there's one cyclone. Okay, never mind. There was one cyclone in the main, thankfully. But the tank is delayed. Voids are being pulled to repair. And ByuN should hold. Yeah, ByuN should hold on here. Back at home, Reaper does fall. And ByuN defends the main. Whew, he defends the main base. Now, what did Classic scout? That's what's important here. Classic, he saw the tech lab on the starport. He knows. He knows, like, there's no shot that you're rushing into a Raven this early on, so he's aware of the potential of Banshees. He saw no research on the tech lab. He saw no upgrade. Reapers, they move in. They catch a third probe. Was that 3 probes going down? 7. Oh, my body. 7. Jesus. It's been slowly adding up. 7 probe kills, but ByuN is still on 1 base. So as it all settles here, I do favor ByuN's economy. ByuN's going to get up to 2 base saturation, and as you can see here, when it comes to the worker count is even. Typically, the Protoss player wants to be up in workers, just because of mules, right? Mules, efficiency, of course, when it comes to the units themselves. So Classic wants to be up in workers and up in expansion, so ByuN, so far, economically, he's in a better position. The Reaper so far have been worth it. What I'm most concerned by is the army. As here we go, Classic, he commits. He's got a lot of force field potential. There's 1 tank on the low ground. The bunker is not yet done. There's only, okay, 2 tanks. 2 tanks here. Classic, he might break through the natural and then get into the mineral line, but that high ground tank is going to be an issue. Gets the first tank. First tank goes down, and he backs off. Yeah, he does back off. Very nice force field. He locks down the SCVs. Again, I don't see Classic breaking the main, but he doesn't need to. Yeah, he doesn't need to break the main. Denying any kind of mining. Oof. Does push into tank range and does snipe the Cyclone. Cyclone goes, the Banshee down, the Banshee. One more volley, he gets it. The Banshee goes down as well. No harass across the map, but ByuN does hold, but that's going to be 5 SCV kills. He lost a tank, he lost a Banshee, no harass across the map. And of course, denied mining. So nice aggression there by Classic. Yeah, nice aggression. Considering he had no blink or anything of that nature. Good damage from our Protoss. Oh. Reapers do snipe the final sentry. So nice pick off out of ByuN. Nice pick off. Behind this, we're going to be skipping blink. Skipping blink, going straight into charge, into storm, into a 3rd base. So Classic is building up into the mid game. ByuN, we have yet to determine whether or not he will expand. So from here, ByuN has stim, he's getting into combat shields, he has +1 on the way, only 1 eBay. We could see, say, 2 more Raxes, and we could turn this into a 2-base all-in, or ByuN can expand. So we're waiting to see, do we throw down production, or a 3rd command center? Classic does spot the move outs. If ByuN were to pull the boys, then Classic would see that as well. Reapers into the main, they get cleaned up. ByuN scattered Storm, he knows. He's where Storm, here comes the main push. Classic, he sees this. Now this will hit with stim. Combat shields will finish up mid-fight. It's going to be finishing on mid-fight here for ByuN. +1 is completing. The medevac is very cavalier. We got to calm down. We got to be careful. Here you can see Classic trying to engage ahead of time. ByuN tries to juke, tries to drive. Where are we going? Does siege. Does siege within range. First tank will go down. Massive pickup. He gets a tank. Yeah, tank does fall, and Storm isn't ready yet. Oof. Forced to go for the feedback, morphing in the Archon. That's a lot of ByuN. ByuN stims in. Yeah, ByuN stims in. We need more zealots. We need more charge lots. Storm is not yet done, and ByuN breaks through. Whew. ByuN, he's broken through. He takes down the Archon. He breaks through into the main, into the third. And Classic just doesn't have enough. Yeah, there's just barely not enough here. Storm is finishing, but too late. Yeah, it's finishing too little, too late here. If we can warp in one high temp, actually, hold on. The overstim. We're overstimmed. The medevacs, they're running out of energy. If we can warp in one high Templar and energy overcharge, we can storm. Doesn't need it. Doesn't need it. Classic, he barely holds on. There's a high Templar morphing in. Storm is now done. Classic, he didn't lose any workers. He's still holding onto his third base. Can he survive? It's still very close. He needs energy. Oh. My shot goes off. He still needs a little bit more energy here. There's the energy overcharge. Do we use it? There it is. Ooh, Storm's behind the army. Yeah, it does storm behind. Charge also collapse in. And Classic holds. And Classic is holding. Ooh, Classic is holding on, catching out one of the medevacs. We get a very clutch hold here for Classic. Hey. It's very clutch. Behind this, ByuN does get his third CC on location. He's morphing in his orbital, and ByuN still has the better economy. ByuN still has a greater economy here. He's up in workers, up in economy. He can keep up the momentum, and ByuN should not back off. He should not back off. The one thing keeping Classic alive in this game is Storm. If the Storms don't quite connect, if they're not quite available, then ByuN can break through. So this is a very, very tense kind of situation here for Classic. Very tense. As he's working with very little here. Now Classic has 4 High Templar and he's soon to have 4 Storms. There's the energy overcharge. Prism is up for a counterattack. This is ideal. Classic, he needs ByuN to back off. He needs ByuN to back the hell up. Oh, there's the first Storm. Feedback snipes to the medevac. And Storm is zoning. Master Zealot warping across the map. As you mentioned, Classic, he needs ByuN to retreat. Back at home, oh, there's very little to defend, actually. And we get into the middle line. Yeah, Zealots get into the middle line. ByuN, he does F2 back home. He races back. That's what Classic wanted. And we get SCV kills as well. Ooh, surround on the Ghost. Yeah, Ghost gets surrounded. Ghost goes down. Brutal pickoffs here. 9 SCV kills. And ByuN, he did race all the way back home. Prism into the main base, distracting ByuN even further. And Classic can breathe. Classic can expand. Yeah, 4th base on the way, so a very crucial run by here from Classic, distracting ByuN, forcing him back home, and Classic can now breathe freely, claim another expansion, build up his own economy, and start to gain map control. Now, Classic isn't out of the woods yet. I still do favor ByuN overall when it comes to the main army engagements. Again, you can see that ByuN's 4th base and Classic's 4th they're on par with each other, right? They're on par with each other here. As opposed to game 1, where Classic, he was like up 1, 2, 3 bases compared to his opponents. Here, ByuN is holding his own. Due to the early game damage, right? Due to the early game damage, due to the lack of momentum that Classic has, warping into the main, Marines are in position. Recalls back home, as also dealt with. Ooh. Does barely recall. Recalls in time, and Classic hasn't stabilized yet. He's stabilizing, but he's yet to stabilize. He needs more time. We have the Bay on the way, we have Colossus on the way. He also has a terrifying army. He did prioritize Ghost production. Due to all the High Templar. And Classic's in trouble here. He's got a lot of Templar, but he has to stay spread. He has to spread out his Templar, make sure he doesn't get EMP'd. Speaking of, does dodge the first EMP. Storm comes in. Storm does grace the Ghost. Oof. Forcing him morph into the Archon. That's 2 more Templar going down. Storm once again mainly on Ghost. They can tank the Storms. Archon getting caught out. Oh. EMP on that, on the Nexus itself, on the battery. Does EMP, more EMPs here on the Prism. Trying to catch the Templar, the Prism. Ooh, Prism goes down, no more Storms. Sorry, the Storms coming in, but 2 High Templar just got sniped. 2 High Templar went down. There's 3 Storms left. Lands 1 Storm, juicy connection. Oh my god. That's a lot of fire going down. That's what, a third of the army falling. Another Storm comes in. And there's still more Storms left. Still more Storms. Another Storm lands. And Classic holds. Whew, okay. The Classic is held on until we got the Colossus. That was the win condition here. Classic just survive until Colossus. He got there. He got the Colossus up and running. Now he has more secure splash damage. We have the Vikings going ham, storming the Vikings. There's one Viking left. Colossus pulls away. Can he get it? One more volley. Oh my god. Almost. Viking goes down. Yeah, some panic storms out of Classic. The Colossus barely survives, and again, Classic is holding. Now, thankfully, behind this, ByuN already had a 4th CC. Right, he already had a 4th base, so ByuN is claiming his own 4th. Muling his heart out. Still has the better economy. Once again, this entire game has been Classic barely holding. He barely held his 3rd. Here, he barely holds his 4th base. Classic still doesn't have momentum. I would say that ByuN still has the advantage, bearing in mind that ByuN did preserve his ghosts. Right, that's what's important here. He held on to that ghost count, so still has plenty of VMPs. He did not throw away his army. And Classic is getting his Robo. Robo is getting up. Thankfully, ByuN is not being passive, right? Like, again, ByuN has the advantage right now. He has momentum. He has to keep applying pressure. We're going to keep going. The Observer does spot this. Oh, ByuN does spot the Observer. Observer goes down. Classic is built up to 3, soon to be 4 Colossus. 2nd Robo is on the way. That should be for Disruptors. Shows EPs. Oh, not quite. EMP lands on the Colossus, not on the High Templar. So Templar, they're still up behind this. We need Disruptors soon. Ooh, supply block. Wait, we're making more Colossus? Oh, okay. There's another Colossus on the way. Getting up to 5 Colossi. Okay, how many Vikings do we have? 8. 8 Vikings. Oh, that's a decent Viking count. EB goes off. 1 Colossus instantly just gets denied. High Templar as well. Oof. And that's going to be a 2nd Colossus falling. And a 3rd Colossus as well. And ByuN overwhelms. ByuN overwhelms. EMPs are landing. That's the final storm. And ByuN is done. And ByuN is breaking through. GG gets called. And ByuN fights back. He puts a point on the board. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Again, a very, very rough game there for Classic. The entire game, Classic was treading water. He was barely holding, barely surviving, barely holding onto the 3rd, barely holding onto the 4th. ByuN had the economic advantage the entire game. That snowballed into a larger force, into a more tech-heavy force as well. And that's where we saw the more dominant fight there towards the end from ByuN. GG. GG, well played. As ByuN, he was able to be quite successful with his proxy. If you remember, it all began with a proxy Reaper, right? He was able to deal economic damage, cause some chaos, delay saturation at the natural, delay the 3rd base very heavily. True. The 3rd base was very delayed there for Classic, and Classic, he just could not really get into his own economy. Couldn't get there. GG. GG, well played. And again, I should also emphasize as well that it was just really important that ByuN was as aggressive and active as he was, right? Like, he had to make sure that he didn't allow Classic to stabilize, didn't allow Classic to get his 2nd Robo up and running and get his 5th base up and running as well. ByuN was very much so in his face the entire game. GG. GG, well played. With that, we're going to be loading into Ad Attorney's Edge. This is an interesting map here. I would say it's a map of extremes. There's gold bases, high yield gas geysers as well. We'll get into it. I'm a little bit concerned for ByuN here. Again, we'll get into the game itself. Into the openers more specifically. Here we go. Spawning in the top left-hand corner of Ad Attorney's Edge, we have the South Korean Protoss player. We have the red Protoss. Oh, sorry, we have the blue Protoss player himself. He's leading the series 2-1, and still 1 game away from claiming the series and becoming our champion. It is Classic for Virtus Pro. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the South Korean Terran player. We have the red Terran representing Shopify Rebellion. It is ByuN. We go. As we are going to be opening up. We're going to be calming things down. Again, welcome to At Attorney's Edge. Coming into this map, we have a relatively secure 2-base setup here. Of course, we have the entrance and the ramp coming onto the high ground further out in the open, of course, outside of the third location. We have the low ground linear third base. We have the high ground triangular third as well. But the reason why I was a little bit concerned for ByuN coming into this is that this is a very large, very wide map that does have a lot of bases that favor whoever has map control. And if ByuN doesn't get momentum early... he saw it. ByuN was hiding his racks. He was hiding his racks, and I believe Classic, yeah, he saw the racks itself. Like, hey, get out of here. You saw nothing. Smurge back, smurge. So, attempted cheeky play here by ByuN doesn't quite work out. But what we were getting at is that if ByuN fails to get momentum early on, and if Classic is able to take map control, we have gold bases and we have high yield gas bases as well. We have some very valuable bases here that will favor Classic if he's able to take over the map. So this is where we need aggression out of ByuN, as this map specifically can be more punishing than normal. It can be very punishing. Now when it comes to favoring aggressive plays, depending on our expansion locations here, the triangular third base and the opposing triangular third base, the distance here between them is very short. It's a very short, very direct path across the map. There's no like high ground, there's no low ground, there's no choke point. I mean, there's I guess somewhat of a choke point here, somewhat, that opens up over time, by the way. There's no line of sight blocker, for example. It's just a very direct path across the map, and we can see some, and we have seen some Terran Orleans make use of that, of course. But that's only if Classic also expands here. Otherwise, it'll be on Classic to try to delay the push. We have a Zelnaga tower in the center to get eyes on any kind of move out. We did see Homeowner earlier in this broadcast successfully all-in Rebellion on this map, so we'll see how aggressive ByuN plans on being. Reaper does poke in. So far, decent shuffling here from Classic. It does shuffle back his weakened probes. Stalker moves in and zones away. So Classic does zone. Behind this, a Twilight Council opener. Question becomes, how many gateways? Now, on a map like At Attorney's Edge, I would hope to see... I don't think I'm opposed to something greedier like 2-gate blink, but I'm expecting at least 3-gate blink Stalker. Keep an eye on our players here. Reaper does poke in, gets one. One probe. Not bad. One probe goes down, denies some mining time as well. More than you expect with the first Reaper. Behind this, CC is finishing up, soon to be landing on the low ground. We have our 1-1-1 follow-up. Oh, going for the add-on swap. Okay, no Widowine drop here. We might even just rush into Banshee play. Do we go for the Banshee? Do we go for the Raven? If you remember, last game there was a Banshee opener without Cloak, this time with Cloak. So much more committed play here by ByuN. Classic, do we have a sentry? The answer is no. How many gateways do we have? We have a Robo, we have one on the low ground, one on the high ground, 2-gate blink. Okay, 2-gate blink out of Classic. It looks like 2-gate blink into a Robo into a third base. Not the greediest build, but relatively greedy here from Classic. Third gateway. Safe play. Safe play at a Classic. Now, because, so we're comparing this to game 1, for example. Remember, game 1, Classic got his third base before the Robo. Here, it's Robo before the third. What does that mean in the context of this game? Early detection, early observers here. So, and that's going to be important against the Banshee defense. Classic doesn't know what he's up against, but Classic is blindly playing safe anyway, and that's going to be ideal against a potential Cloak Banshee aggression. Assuming he makes the observer after this, by the way. But he has access to observers. Does start things off with a War Prism. First Banshee moves out. We'll see if Classic does Chrono out and make an observer. This Banshee does make its way towards the main. Batteries in production. This Prism tells us that Classic wants to push. There's the observer, but as Classic moves out, the Banshee's moving in. And Classic's out of position. Yeah, Classic is out of position. Banshee does hit the main base. Probes will go down. Classic, he doesn't turn around. Yeah, he does not turn around. The battery will buy some time. Battery's buying time. Now, because of this as well, there's that much less to defend. There's no tank, right? There's no defensive tank due to the add-on swap for the Banshee. 3 probe kills so far. Classic dropping into the main. I get spotted. Yeah, he gets spotted by the depot. And ByuN should be fine here. He will lose some depots. That is true. Oh, we'll lose a Stalker. Yeah, one Stalker goes down, but a miscontrol by Classic. At the same time, 4 probe kills in total. 3 in the main, 1 at... Oh, no! 3 in the main, 1 at the natural. We have 1 Banshee remaining here. 1 Banshee did fall. And so far, it's been okay damage for ByuN, but ideally, he wanted more. Yeah, I say okay damage, it's not enough. Like, he killed 4 probes, that is true, and he's keeping army tied up, but this was 2 Cloak Banshees. At least one of them still alive, so he's scouting. Scouting, checking for the 3rd. Again, the scary thing here is that there are no tanks because of the Banshee production, and this bunker is going to go down. Yeah, the bunker does fall, going for extra warp ins. And the boys are being pulled desperation here by ByuN. He's getting desperate. And again, this is all happening because of the Banshee play and the failed Banshee aggression. As that's 5 SCVs. Classic pulls away. He can just keep applying pressure. Oh, the Prism! No, the Prism! Yeah, Prism overextends. Miscontrolled by Classic. Goes too far with the War Prism. And ByuN is holding. ByuN is now holding on. Behind this, Classic does expand. ByuN does hold, does defend. If we had the War Prism, we could reinforce and maybe even break this position. But as things stands, ByuN, he holds. Forcing it, even catching a Stalker. Oof. Yeah, 2 Stalkers going down. Heavy losses there for Classic. He has to race all the way back home. Losing another Stalker. Oh no, he move commands in. Yeah, once again, Miscontrol moving into the army, losing 2 more Stalkers. Ay. Classic, we gotta lock in. We gotta lock in, baby. So Classic turns around. ByuN has momentum. Behind this, there's 1 Colossus to defend. Classic can hold with the Colossus, but he has to be so careful with it. Blink Sword gets 1, gets 2 Marauders. Very nice snipes. Yeah, better snipes here from Classic. Baits out the mine shots. Observers in position and cleans up all 4 mines. Very nice cleanup here out of Classic. Whew, okay, and Classic holds. Classic holds on. ByuN races back home. Behind this, we're getting 2 more Raxes. There's a 3rd CC. Okay. 3rd CC is on the way. ByuN is expanding. But if you notice, something that we did emphasize that was crucial for ByuN's game, last game, of course, was ByuN's aggression, right? He's been very active, very aggressive, even this game as well. And ideally want to keep that momentum going. As Classic should be taking a 4th base soon. He's going for the gold. No shot. He's going straight for the gold. Very risky here by Classic. Very greedy. He goes for it. He's going for the gold, and ByuN cannot let him get away with this. He can't get away with it. That's a huge move from Classic. Oh my god, the light is so bright here. Oh my Jesus. It's like a solar flare going on here. Oh my god. It's like a nice little study room in the middle. As ByuN does claim his 3rd, and again, ByuN currently is unaware of what's going on. He's unaware. If you remember, we spoke about this after game 1, emphasizing some of the strengths of Classic. We spoke about it in game 1. Classic, he's one of the best players in the world when it comes to recognizing like when he can get away with mass expanding and being greedy and taking an economic edge, specifically in TvP. This is another example of that, where the aggression has died down, ByuN backed off, bam, go base. And it's very, very risky here, but if he gets away with it, I mean, that's going to be a massive boost to the economy for Classic. As he's double expanding, essentially. Getting a 4th and getting a 5th. Yep, double expanding. Now, is this too greedy? It might be. Remember, the rush distance by ground from this 3rd to the opposing 3rd location is very short. And I mean, thankfully Classic is in position. Yeah, he's here at the 5th base. The issue that I have is that if ByuN pokes in, if he sees the timing of this expansion, he might be thinking, oh, it's okay. He doesn't know this isn't the 4th, this is the 5th. Yeah, he scans. He scans. ByuN pushing forward. How many Vikings? 6. 6 Vikings. Gets a volley off. Lands an EMP. As the goal base is fully saturated, by the way, and ByuN still does not know. as I mentioned before, like if ByuN believes this is the 4th base, then internally he doesn't really feel that much pressure. He's like, no, yeah, your 4th base is on time. That's fine. But it's not true. It's not true, Pappy. We need to be more active. Behind this, getting his own 4th expansion. And rotating here in the center. Classic is in between his bases. Classic, he does spot the army. I mean, he has the observer of the army the entire time. It blinks forward. He's crazy. Yeah, it blinks in. 1, 2 Colossus is going to be going down. Yeah, massive pickups. Getting 2, getting 3. Yeah, 3 Colossus do full. And he's going to just reset the Colossus count. So the ByuN army is breaking through as well. And ByuN, he's doing it. He's breaking through despite the gold base. Classic, was he too greedy? I think so. As he's lacking a gateway army. He's lacking his gateway army here. Losing every single Colossus. And with that, ByuN is done. ByuN is broken through. ByuN, he never knew about the go base, but thankfully he was being aggressive. He wasn't passive, right? He wasn't passive. He didn't stay back at home. He breaks down, breaks through the Colossi. And with that, ByuN, we're forcing the ace match. we're going the distance, Patty. We're going all the way. Breaks through the Zealots, gets on top of the Robo as well. With that, the boys are being pulled. So again, desperation at the classic. GG gets called, and ByuN, he will tie the series. We're going to game 5. Whew. GG. GG, well played again. Classic double expanding, getting his 5th base so quickly. Obviously, ByuN didn't know it was a 5th base, but thankfully ByuN still kept the pressure up, still was active on the map. Thankfully, he did not back off. If he were to back off, then Classic could then start making use of the gold and then max out. Then max out, build up his mineral bank, build up his Zealot army as well. That's what was lacking there for Classic. Is sure I think he had like what, 5 Colossus? He had a heavy Colossus count, but his gateway army was lacking, and he didn't need that support for his Colossi, for the anti-Viking army, the anti-ground army. Once the Colossus fell, GG. GG, well played. Whew. And with that, we're going all the way to the ace match. We're going to game 5, and where are we dropping? What is that final map? Let's have a look here. Oh, okay. We're going to be loading into Blackrock. Interesting. We're going back to Duratar. We're going to... Let's go. For those who don't know, Blackrock is a Warcraft 3 inspired map. Even has some orc watchtowers and some orca grunts as well. Very Warcraft 3 inspired. I don't know what it was as TLMC, but there were a lot of Warcraft maps. For those that maybe didn't tune into the judging stream that we had, there's Blackrock, which in reference to the Blackrock clan in Warcraft. There was Silvermoon, which was honestly really nice aesthetically, but Silvermoon, that was its own map as well. And Voidstorm, which is a reference to Netherstorm. So, a lot of Warcraft maps this season. Here we go. Here we go. We're getting into the ace match. It all ends here. It's catching up. Oh, Este. I see Demi. Este Varun. Good to see you, Demi. Good to see you if you're still there. Este, Demi. When are we seeing you in the next KSL, Pappy? Este, Demi. So we're getting into Blackrock. Here we go, and spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Blackrock, we have the South Korean Protoss player. We have the Blue Protoss representing Virtus Pro, being forced into the ace match. He was up 2-0, by the way. He had a strong start to the series, but he has been losing his lead. Can he bring it back? Can he bring it home? It is Classic. And spawning in the right-hand corner, we have the South Korean Terran player. We have the Red Terran representing Shopify Rebellion. Coming back. He was down 2-0, by the way, but he brought it back. Can he pull off the reverse sweep? It is ByuN. As he goes to the proxy. Here we go. The SCV sent across the map. The Rax has been thrown down. Now, if you recall, there were some changes made to Blackrock. That is why if you look at the minimap here, this is not TLMC map Blackrock. This is Avex Blackrock. Avex is the map maker, the creator of this map, and there were some changes made. Previously, we did have a more accessible and abusable natural base. There was tall grass covering this entire location, so you can make use of this. Double gas is back at home, but we're going proxy marauder. As this time we're going double gases, we only have one Rax. Classic moves out with the probe, and Classic he will barely not scout the proxy. He barely does not see what's going on. The probe does move out across the map. Classic he will confirm that a Rax is missing though. Does confirm that a Rax is missing. ByuN, yep, going proxy marauder. So marauder's going to be amassing. And we'll see how Classic responds. Meanwhile, as you can see here, we have that Warcraft 3 aesthetic. Oh, there he is. We have some orc grunts thrown around all over the place. The orc miniatures. We have the watchtowers as well. That orc encampment aesthetic, if you will. Oh yeah, they're colluding. They're colluding with the moopies. Oh no, they're colluding. Aye. What are they planning? As here come the Marauders. Now, the goal here so far, again, Classic, he gets across the map, he scouts, he confirms that the Rax is missing. Back at home, we're going for the, early Zealots. Stake the battery inside of the main. That will help against, Proxy Reaper, true. But that will not help against the Marauders. So, a bit of a misread here from Classic. The boys are being pulled. Classic, can he deny the bunker? Can he deny it? As the boys have arrived. ByuN can kite back to the tall grass as well, true. To deny that line of sight. The pylon taking a lot of hits. Very nice force field. Locks down one of the Marauders. He gets surrounded. Yeah, he will get surrounded. Just barely. The bunker is being denied, but now another Marauder has arrived. And again, that pylon is so low. Once again, another force field. Once again, locks down the Marauder. Very nice force field so far. Kills the SCV. Yeah, kills the SCV. Second Stalker is made as we have another pylon, and Classic holds. Classic, Classic, he does hold on. Does force a cancel. ByuN pulling back. And ByuN did kill 7 probes. That was a lot of economic damage, but at the same time, ByuN, remember, he does not have a CC. Bear that in mind. As Classic does hold. And again, shout out to the force fields. The force fields are crazy. He just kept locking down those Marauders one after the other. Back at home, CC on the low ground. We do have our Cyclone follow-up, I believe, into Macville accelerators. That's a very common follow-up here from ByuN. Just to have some kind of map control early on. Now just getting a second Cyclone. Second Cyclone is a starport. And so far, Classic is in a better position. I mean, I say that, did lose a lot of workers. That is true. Did lose a lot of workers, so Classic has some recovering to do. We can see that ByuN is skipping Macfield, just going for 2 vanilla Cyclones, just, again, for map control. And I'm curious to see where he takes us from here. Oh my god, what? He does look him down once again? Jesus. Sentry goes down. The Cyclone takes a lot of hits. ByuN has to get out of here. Get out of here, Pappy. Get out of here. Oh my god. ByuN pulls away. Pulls away, races back home. We might get one more shot off, but I believe the Cyclone will survive. Yep. Cyclone does make it. With the repairs, I don't see Classic breaking these Cyclones. Yeah, it's not going to happen. Not going to happen. ByuN getting to his own 3-1-1 setup. Bold move out of ByuN, moving out with his 2 Cyclones, moving out with his drops. And we'll see how we stabilize. As ByuN is hunting for any kind of stray units here. Alright, Twilight Council into Blink. 2 more gates on the way, 3 in total. So 3 gate Blink into the robo. Very safe play here by Classic. Very safe. And we'll see if Classic can minimize losses. Can minimize, gets into the main, gets 1. 1 probe kills. Oh, 2 probes even. Okay. 2 probes going down. Can he get a 3rd? Not quite. Yeah, not quite. Medevac forced to lift, but I mean, not bad damage here. 2 probes, doesn't lose anything. Doesn't lose anything. The add-on, of course, also scouts the timing of the expansion. ByuN is aware. We're following this up with Liberators. I was curious if it was going to be Liberator or Banshee, but no Tech Lab. So into Liberator harassing, going for earlier Sim. Oof, as the Cyclones get locked down. Oof, ay. Losing the Medevac, losing both Cyclones as well. Expensive losses there for ByuN. That should not have happened. Suddenly, yes, ByuN killed 2 pros, but he lost 2 Cyclones in the process. And likewise, that means that Classic doesn't need to stay at home. Doesn't need to stay back. Classic, he moves out across the map. There is still a Liberator threatening the 3rd base, true. There's still that Liberator. Observer scouts the army. There's only 1 tank. Yeah, Liberator does siege into the natural. So a late reaction by Classic, losing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 pro kills. Very nice damage here by ByuN. Classic was distracted. Observer gets spotted. Keen eyes there by ByuN. And ByuN, he's making up for his Cyclones. He's making up for them. Cashing the Observer, no high ground vision. Dealing economic damage. ByuN looking good. He's looking good, looking solid. He can now break out. Stim is done. Comet's +1 finishing up as well. ByuN commits. He commits, catching at 1, 2 Stalkers. Oh, a lot of Stalkers falling. Classic is in trouble, and Classic, I'll be honest, I don't think he can stop this. This is just so much. He's gonna have 1 Colossus. Okay, he's knocking down the rocks. He's knocking. Oh god, he's knocking down the rocks. He's buying time. He's buying precious seconds. The Colossus will pop out. He's going to have 1 battery to defend. But engaging into the choke point is also going to be brutal here for Classic. Can he get on top of the tank? I don't see that happening. Okay, he locks down a Marauder. He won't even kill it. Oh, he might. Yeah. Marauder survives. Never mind. Marauder does survive. We have a choke point here. Massive mine shots on the Zealots. Tank will go down. Classic, he attempts this around here, and ByuN does trade, but he gets forced back. Doesn't kill the Colossus. Yeah, the Colossus does hold, does survive, and the game will continue. The game will continue here. Third CC's halfway done for ByuN. Halfway complete. ByuN is forced back. Oh, Jesus, going for a massive Doom Drop. Okay. ByuN commits. Classic does have a recall available. There is energy in the main. So Classic can either recall or base trade. Bearing in mind that this is the only army back at home. There's 2 Vikings, a handful of units. Here we go, drop into the main. There's a recall. Does recall back. Bay goes down. Nice snipe there by ByuN. Ooh. Denies the warp in, depowers the gateways, catching a Colossus as well. Oh my god. ByuN achieving a lot here, and he does not lose a Medevac. Yeah, barely not. Catching out more gateway units, picking up more Zealots, more Stalkers as well. He tries to. Colossus is overextending. Okay, it's fine. He's reinforcing. Does reinforce. But he does overextend though. We gotta get out of here. The Colossus. ByuN wants it. The Vikings. Yeah, one more volley. The Colossus will go down. Classic overextends, and Classic is being broken. He's falling apart. Not like this. Classic down to 0 Colossi, and he can't rebuild the Bay. Remember, the Bay got sniped. He couldn't build a Colossus. Keep going, ByuN. Keep going. We don't have to back off, Pat. We can just keep pushing. There's no splash damage. We got 1 disruptor on the way. 1 disruptor is in production. But 0 splash damage currently here for Classic. ByuN, you can keep going. Ah. Prism does counterattack. Again, Classic, he needs ByuN to turn around. Needs him to turn around. Going for the warp in. ByuN, he does turn around. He's going back home. He's going back home. And Classic, he survives. Ah. Yeah, he does survive here as ByuN. He turns everything all the way back home. Zelsay busts into the main, cashing out 6 SCVs. Prism gets out, can always go back in. Now, forcing ByuN back home is the first step here on the road to recovery, but Classic needs more than that. He needs to build up his economy. Right now, his economy is very lackluster. Needs to get up to 4 base saturation, then get a 5th. Likewise, it needs to build up into the second robo, into splash damage once again. It will still take time for Classic. Prism went down. War Prism did go down. Nice snipe of the Observer. Ooh, Classic getting ready for the backstab. Getting ready for the backstab. He wants ByuN to push out once again to force him back home. He's doing it again. Does hit the natural. ByuN turns around. Classic force fields, pushing into the main. At the same time, Zelsay coming from behind, going for the third base mineral line. And now it's ByuN's turn to be pulled apart. This is a very committed move here by Classic, bear that in mind. But he does catch reinforcements, does trade relatively well. Recalls back home, saving the Stalkers at least. But the Zealot run by didn't achieve damage. Only 4 CV kills. He needed to get the mineral line here. Like, this was so committed for Classic. In the end, that wasn't worth it. That was not worth it. You can see the trades here. Classic, he lost 12 Zealots. He lost 2 Stalkers. He lost all of his sentries. For 4 SCVs. Oh, nice Nova. Okay. Novas are connecting. It's a full NG Ghost as well. Disruptors are out. Now, Classic is still, you know, treading water, is still in a rough position. But hey, if he can land some of these Novas, he can dominate a fight. The Nova's back. ByuN is counter-attacking. ByuN, he actually comes in for the attempt to surround. Ooh, too soon. Yeah, ByuN came in too soon. He was a bit premature. As he does give chase. Nice Novas. Oh my god. Yeah, Novas are connecting, catching out mainly Marines. Yeah, Marines do go down. Classic rotating. Building on more disruptors so far. He has 6, soon to be 7 disruptors. Classic mass expanding as well, taking all the bases. Now, at this point, Classic cannot maintain these expansions, not yet. But we'll see if he can get away with the greed. See if he can get away with it. Oof. There we go, some decent connections. Catching out Marauders as well. Yeah, the Novas are here. At the same time, nice harass. Sets up the Liberator. Forcing defensive warpins. I would imagine. As we're still not done, more probes are falling. Never goes off. So just grazing the army. Classic. Again, just chipping away at the army here. No major connections yet. Oh! Okay, catching out 2 Marauders. And they're all softened up. Yeah, they're all softened up. That's what 5 Marauders going down. More Novas connecting. Again, they're just dealing damage over time. Prism into the main. No major warp in, but he does get in. There we go. There's the warp in. And again, ByuN's being torn apart here. Novas are connecting. They turn back the main army. Zelsay recapping the main. Shows the Novas. Oh my god, massive connection. Yeah, one does land, one does connect. 22 SCV kills is what matters. This is what matters here. This Zelsay recapping the main base. 25 SCVs going down. We continue the warp ins. He keeps going. Classic keeps going. He's done. He has broken ByuN. Massive connection. The main army crumbles. And ByuN was so close this game. GG gets called as Classic snowballs out of control, and Classic takes the series 3-2, becoming this week's KSL champion. GG. GG, well played. ByuN had so much momentum in this game. He was, again, I'm thinking about the moment where he killed 2 Colossus. Remember, if you recall, I'm referring to the Doom Drop. He Doom Dropped into the main base. He forced a weird reaction out of Classic recalled back home. He lost 2 Colossus in the scrambling of the defense, and he lost the Bay as well. There was 0 splash damage, and ByuN could have kept pushing to even kill Classic, but what did we see? War Prism counterattack. The Prism went for the counterattack, Zealot run by as well at the same time, and ByuN turned everything back home. We tried to emphasize that moment. That was the moment where Classic forced ByuN to back off, and that allowed Classic to saturate his 4th base, to get his 4th up and running, to rebuild his bay, to get into disruptors, and to actually build up an army. Despite that, it was still very tense. That was Classic like stabilizing essentially, and it was still very, very tense between the 2 players. It came down to the control, came down to the purification overs, and it came down to the non-stop counterattacks. The War Prism time and time again got into the main base of ByuN with Zealot run by, Zealot counterattacks, Zealot warpins as well, and eventually became too much, alongside the Novas of course. GG. Whew, GG, well played. Again, a very intense back and forth there between Classic and ByuN. In the end, Classic is going to be our champion, but shout out to ByuN, because ByuN, he made a series out of it. And so we had some very clutch, very entertaining games here between the 2 players. GG. GG, well played. Shout out to ByuN for coming in 2nd place. Congratulations to Classic for becoming our champion. GG. GG. Share the prediction results. It was actually quite close. It was actually quite close here. It was 61% in favor of Classic, 39% in favor of ByuN. GG. GG. But with that, we are going to be wrapping up here for the day. Again, if you want to support the KSL, you can do so via Patreon. !KSL in the chat. Okay, we'll give you a link to the Patreon page. Again, when it comes to the KSL, they've been waning a little bit when it comes to support on Patreon. This used to be a weekly tournament, and nowadays it is a monthly tournament. A big shout out to Dave Testa and Chicken Man for hosting and running the event on a regular basis. Big shout out to Dave Testa and Chicken Man. I know that currently Chicken Man is unavailable and Dave Testa's under the weather. But regardless, despite that, they still run the tournament. They still host the event itself. So much love to both Dave and Chicken Man for taking the initiative to host and run this event on a regular basis. Again, to help out the Korean scene, of course. Likewise, if you want some more StarCraft action, we're going to be live later on tonight. I'm going to try to sleep for like an hour. I'll try maybe 2. I'll try to maybe not for like 2 hours, maybe. For those that are curious, tonight is RSL. We have the RSL. Here's our schedule. We just wrapped up our Saturday morning broadcast. You can see the KSL logo there, Saturday morning. That was our first cast of the day. Later on tonight, we have RSL. That is going to be in around 4 hours time. In 4 hours is going to be RSL. I'm going to try to get like maybe 1.5 to 2 hours of sleep. And then wake up in time for RSL, and tomorrow GSL, the semifinals and the grand finals. Is going to be a live cast of GSL tomorrow evening. Bearing in mind that we do cast it live, we've been casting it live the entire season, and it is live casted over on Soup. I should emphasize that as well. Soup, for those who don't know, that is Afrika TV. They are basically another streaming platform, a Korean streaming platform. Especially because Twitch no longer support Korea. They no longer have monetary support for Korean residents and Korean streamers. So because that was like 2 years ago at this point, but that's why we had a rise of streaming services in Korea to actually allow for Korean streamers to perform and to host content and to stream. As a result of that, you know, GSL is exclusive to Soup, bear that in mind. That is why we only live stream on Soup. VODs are available on YouTube and Twitch after the fact, 48 hours after. That is the restriction, that is the limitation for us. We have to wait 48 hours and then we can show the VOD elsewhere. So if you can't wait 48 hours, then you can either watch it live or check out the VOD over on Soup. Soup in the chat to get a link to our Soup channel if you wish to watch it live. So again, that is going to be tomorrow. So we have GSL tomorrow and we have RSL tonight in 4 hours time. When it comes to RSL, we're going to be covering, I want to say, is it Cure, ByuN, not Shin, Xian. I know Xian's playing tonight. Let's look at the brackets. God, I was completely off. Never mind. Clem, Bunny, Rogue, and Lambo. Oh, true went over it. Very pleasantly surprised that Lambo did well in the group stage. That was the upset, is that Lambo made it through and Cure and Xian didn't. That's it. So Lambo, Clem, Rogue, and Bunny are playing in RSL tonight. That's going to be 2 best of 5s. 2 best of 5s. Hopefully a longer cast than last night. Last night it was less than 2 hours. hyper short, hyper fast series. Hopefully we get a little bit more out of our players tonight for RSL. But otherwise, going to be heading off. Thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. And we'll see you guys next time. For some more StarCraft, of course. Whether it's tonight for RSL or tomorrow for GSL or next week for the plethora of events that we have, we'll see you next time. Otherwise, thanks for watching, and until then, we'll see you next time. If you want to support us, you can do so via Patreon, !our Patreon in the chat. That funds our tournaments. Again, there's a lot of ways to support StarCraft nowadays, with the GSL Patreon, the RSL Patreon, the KSL Patreon, the Ducklings Patreon. So it's again, there are ways to support. If you do wish to support a channel or a tournament out there, you can do so. Likewise, we do ask you to at least follow us. You can follow us on all the socials, whether it's Mastodon, Blue Sky, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Discord. They are the places to be. Check us out there if you wish. Otherwise, thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next time. Until then, ciao, papi, ciao. Hasta luego.